Programming 301, Lesson 6. This is the walkthrough, going through all the answers. I'm going to start with Hide the Ghost 1. So in this project, we're going to detect the collision of a fireball and the ghost. Pretty simple code here. So what we're going to do, when it starts, it's going to show that ghost. And then we want to check for when the ghost is touching this flaming comet. That's the name of this actor. We're going to hide the ghost, play the punch sound, and then wait 2 seconds, and then show him again. So this is what your code should look like. So when the fireball hits, he disappears, and then he comes back after 2 seconds. And then the next time a fireball hits him, he will disappear again. And hide the ghost too. Now, what we're going to do, the ghost is going to fight back this time. So we're going to check the ghost costume and then program the ghost to disappear only when certain conditions are met. So the ghost will start with its Ghost 2 costume, which is this angry ghost right here, and then change back after a few seconds. We're going to program the ghost to hide only when its Ghost 1 costume is touching the fireball. So we're going to pull out this when, and we're going to say when touching flaming comet. Now we want to check. We want to check if the costume's name is equal to Ghost 1. So only if that's the time that he's hit by it, when they touch each other. Then we're going to hide him. We're going to play that punch sound, and we're going to have him move to 500x and 0y. Wait a second, and then show himself again. Finally, we want it to play a sound, and we want it to play the sound in the else, okay? Because you missed him. So if you missed hitting him, the ghost is going to laugh evilly. I have my volume turned off so I can't even hear him. Make sure you have your volume on. So when I play it, he laughs. Now that his costume is that way, I can hit him. Very cool. All right, defeat the ghost. So we want to make the ghost hide if the fireball hits them. And we're going to defeat the ghosts 3 times. So when touching fireball occurs. So we're going to check to see when touching fireball if the costume name is equal to I gotta put this on the other side. This is Ghost 1. It's gonna go on the second part in here. Oh, no. Go in here. Costume name goes in the second square. Ooh, it's being difficult. Alright, let's try this again. If, I'm gonna say Ghost, because the name of this is Ghost Space 1. If you look at the name of the character that's here, then I'm going to do, there we go, got to get in there. If Ghost 1 is equal to costume name, then we're going to hide it. So for each of these ghosts, we're going to pull over and we're going to check for if that costume is equal to Ghost 1. So you're going to keep pulling over these same blocks. For each of the ghosts, we want to know if he's on Ghost 1 for the costume, that means his face is the way we want it to be. So now I can click. But I can only you got to get him 3 times in that face to get rid of him. Yay! Okay, so this Wizards versus Zombies is the big part to this lesson. So here's what we're going to do. You can change the background if you want. I'm not going to. I'm not changing the wizard. I'm not changing the zombie. I'm leaving the characters that they put in place. Now I need to make the wizard move. So there's a couple ways that you can do this, but I'm going to check for my arrow keys. So I'm going to say when up arrow is pressed, move 10 pixels. So I need to point in the direction that that wizard is facing. So I'm pointing left or right. I'm not going up or down, so that's not a big deal. I don't need to work with that. But we're going to point in direction. Here we go. And not up arrow, we're doing right and left. So I'm going to point 90 degrees, and then I'm going to actually just duplicate this and paste it. And then I'm going to say when the left arrow is pressed, we're going to point negative 90 degrees and move 10 pixels. You could also do this another way, so you don't have to set it up this way. You could instead pull out an on start block, and you could put in a forever loop, and you could use an if statement instead. So you would say if I'm going to look in sensing, and I'm going to do this key pressed. So this is going to be that left arrow, and then I would do these same 2 blocks, and then repeat this. And do right arrow. So left would be that negative 90, and right would be positive 90. So either of these will do this. I'll leave this one here and pull these out. So those are both ways that you could get that movement going. So if I played this right now, my wizard would move left and right. Oh, he moves real fast though. I don't like that. Oh well. Okay, so we've got him moving left and right. Now what we're gonna do is make the zombie move. So we're gonna look at the zombie, and we're gonna want him to start out at a location and then have him move in a direction. So I'm going to start out with just an on start. So when the game starts, I'm going to have him go to this location where he is, or even a little further back on the screen, maybe off the screen. And I'm going to go over to motion and get a go to and a point. In direction. So we're going to have them go, I'm going to do like 700 because that's off the screen a little bit. And then negative 170. And I'm going to have him point left so he's facing in the direction of the wizard. And then I'm going to check, here we go, we're going to make him forever just keep moving forward because he's a zombie and they don't have to think, they just move and look for brains. We're going to move 10 pixels. We should probably add a little bit of a wait time in there though, so that he goes nice and slow. Where is my wait block? There it is. And we're gonna wait. Let's do 0.1 seconds, and we can adjust that if we need to. Animate the zombies walk. Let's see. So right now if I play, he just moves across the screen. It's not changing costumes. So I want him to change costumes as he is moving around. So we don't need to animate him. Let's go in and take a look at he only has 8 run costume. That's great. We're just going to use those. So every time he moves those 10 pixels, we're going to go into looks and we're going to change his costume. Next costume. So let's play and see what happens. There he is. Oh, he's kind of fast. I don't know, man. I don't know about that speed. I might 0.5, 0.05. That's at least a little bit slower. All right, I can go with that, 0.05. Okay, so we've got him moving. He's animated. We could even add some sounds here too. So let's go back in and go look for some sounds. So every time he moves, we want to play a sound. So let's go find some footsteps. You can play. You can search for the footsteps. And if you search for footsteps, you should get these. You should be able to play the sound to hear it. I like that first one. So we're going to go with that. We're going to play footsteps. Now let's listen and see what happens. All right. Covered all that. Now, we can add more zombies. So if we click on these 3 little dots right here and say duplicate, zombie, and we have another zombie, and I'm going to duplicate, and now we have a 3rd one. Now they're stacking in the same spot, so we need to move them around a little bit. If I play, they're going to all go together, and we don't want that, so we're going to have to adjust their location a little bit. So I'm going to take this zombie, I'm going to name this one zombie 2, and this one zombie 1, and this one zombie 3, and zombie 2, I'm going to change his start. I'm going to move the X to 750 and the Y to negative 125. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it's not really. Oh, that's the other one that's following it. Let's see if it takes a while. Off the screen, that won't work. We'll do positive 2125. Let's see if that adjusts it better. Yeah, there he is. Perfect. And then let's go to the 3rd zombie and move him to, I'm going to do like 850, so it takes a while for him to come. He can stay around that negative 170. Let's just do like negative, or just do 0. See how that works. There we go. You could even put a different sound for each of these. So if we go, we could add this footsteps 2, so a different one has a different footstep sound, and maybe zombie 2, we could go look and see if there's any creepy sounds in here somewhere. Sci-fi. What does this sound like? Oh, I don't like those. Spooky. What do we got? Bubbles, evil laugh, scream. Oh, I kind of like the heartbeat. That's a little scary. I'm gonna do the heartbeat. That's creepy. Oh, I love that. That's some creepiness going on. That makes me happy. All right, so we've got all them going. They're not stacking on the same spot. So now what we need to do is use the when occurs block to add some rules for our game. So we want to use the touching block to check to see if a zombie is touching a fireball. So for each of these zombies, we need to grab a event. We need when occurs. Here we go. We want the thing for us to check for sensing and touching. We want to check for touching fireball. We only have one fireball. It just gets repeated over and over again whenever we click. So when a fireball occurs, we're going to put him back where he started from. So that's this block right here. I only want to copy this one block. Let's see if I can get just, there we go. Copy, paste. We're going to go back to that spot and have him point in the opposite direction. I'm going to do that for each of these guys. I'm just going to copy this code right here. I'm going to go to zombie 2 and I'm going to paste that, but I got to change this. This one's 750 and 125 because that's the location I started that zombie at. And then this one is going to be at 850 and 0. All right, so we've got that. So we've got our zombies. Let's go back to our wizard. So let's see. We have to make some way to stop the game if the wizard's touched by any of the zombies. So I'm going to hop over here and plop onto my wizard. And we're going to need to use a when touching block again. And we can use, our when occurs block, we're going to use touching in here. We can smoosh a bunch of code together to make this one line of checking. And we're going to do some ORs, okay? So we're going to look at operators. We need the AND ORs. Here's some ORs. We need an OR, and then we need another OR inside of it. So we're going to check when, and we want to know touching. So that's going to be one of those sensing things again. And we want touching. We want to know if or when, in this case. I want to move this whole chunk down. There we go. When touching zombie 1 or zombie 2 or zombie 3. So none of these zombies can touch us. We will stop. And this is not a block you used. So we're going to go down to events. And it is, oh, sorry, not events, control. Where is that stop block? All the way at the end, stop all. That's going to stop everything when you touch the zombie. And then our fireball should be somewhat set up. We have when the space bar pressed, it's going to go to the wizard. When the left arrow is pressed, it's going to point to the left, and right arrow right. And when it's touching the edge, it's going to hide. Let's see what happens. Oop, I got touched. Let's see if I can. My spacebar is not registering, like, at all. I'm going to save my progress. I'm going to refresh my screen. Let's try this again. All my code's here, it's not gone, so don't freak out. Let's play. It's really hard to do. It's very, very hard to win. Like the fireball doesn't go high enough. I don't like that. I'm going to add a hide block for each of these zombies as well. When they've been hit. Oops. I'm also going to make this wait longer. We're going to do 1 second. Might be too long. Oh yeah. At least I have a fighting chance right now. My fireball keeps just disappearing. I think we're going to need to mess with the fireball code, which I didn't plan to have to do. So let's say, so we have one touching edge, hide. I don't want that to happen. Let's see. Sorry, big breath out. Let's say instead of when touching edge occurs, why don't we just check? Let's just adjust this start code here, go away. All right, we're gonna start it. We're gonna say, instead of show, let's go a little backwards here. Let's hide it. Let's go to our wizard, set our 50%, but let's change this forever block to a forever if. And we will check only if, and we'll do those 3 again this time. We're going to check edge, zombie, zombie, or zombie. So, operators, we need 4 of these. Ors this time. Or. There we go. Let's say sensing, touching, 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 and touching. And let's check for zombie 3, zombie 2, zombie 1, edge. All right, so forever if that happens, then we'll hide him. We will wait. Just a little tiny bit here. Then we'll have him go way off the screen. Movement. Let's go way, way off the screen so we know we won't see him. Do -9999 and 0. And then we'll also have a second unstart block with a forever loop in it. And we'll say in this one, we're going to look for when that key is pressed, the space bar. So we're going to check for forever and an if. Then we want to know space bar pressed. Key buttons, there we go. If space is pressed, then we will go to the wizard and show. We can get rid of that. We're going to make a little function here to make this work here. Let's send a message to ourselves to fly. Send message to fly to self, and then we'll wait until that space bar is not pressed again. So let's find that wait block. We're going to use it a little bit different this time. Really? Where are you? Wait until the space bar is not pressed. So we're going to go to operator. It's the longest video ever. And then we're going to go for not spacebar pressed. So we're listening for when the spacebar is not pressed anymore. And then when he receives the fly, then we'll move. Long way around this. So we're going to make a event and listen for when we receive fly. And when that occurs, I will repeat until I'm not touching the wizard and I'm touching anything else. So we need a operator and an and a not. All right, so we're a not, and we need sensing, touching, anything, and not touching the wizard. Long way around this. Let's see if that works now. Would help if I actually put this in here. And it shouldn't have been wait until, it should have been repeat until. So where is my control here? Not wait, repeat until. There we go, repeat until. I'm gonna grab this whole chunk and stick it in that repeat. And I need to move actually, but let's make it move faster. Let's do 3 pixels. Now, there we go. If I waste that fireball, it will never come back again. It's so annoying. I don't like how far down it is. I'm not going to fix it anymore. This is enough.